Human evolution began in Africa about 6 million years ago. It was a very long process and involved many genetic changes and mutations that our ancestors went through to become the humans we look like today. Evolution is the genetic changes that occur in a population over time. It is a process that results in changes that are passed on or inherited from generation to generation. Genetic changes or adaptations happen when genes mutate or combine in different ways during reproduction. If these changes are successful, then it can help organisms become successful at surviving and creating healthy offspring. We know this and have evidence for evolution through scientific findings such as fossil layers, similarities in DNA, and similarities of embryos. Now, let's take a closer look at how humans evolved. I will be explaining the 3 most significant changes in human evolution, which was the growth between the stages of the Australopithecines to the genus Homo, and then finally the early Homo sapiens. The Australopithecines were an African ape-like species that evolved around 6 million years ago. They had 2 skeletal characteristics that made it different to the other apes, which were their small canine teeth. Finally, most importantly, was that the Australopithecines were the first ape-like species to use bipedalism, which is walking on 2 legs. Next was the genus Homo. The biggest difference of genus Homo and the Australopithecines were their much larger brains. 30% larger, in fact. Scientists put the evolution of modern human genus into 3 periods: early, middle, and late. Species of early Homo, such as Homo habilis, were like the Australopiths in many ways, but they had smaller teeth and jaws and more modern feet and hands that were capable of making tools. The middle Homo species, which was the Homo erectus, were evolved to be more similar to modern humans in their shape and body form, but their brains were still very small. The final transition from the middle to late periods happened 200,000 years ago. Late Homo species, including Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, had larger and more complex brains. This meant that they were the smartest group yet and would eventually come up with languages and cultures. Scientists have decided that around 90,000 years ago, Homo sapiens evolved in Africa and began spreading to other parts of the world. It was not until 40,000 years ago that modern humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, emerged. Since that time, human evolution has been cultural and no longer biological. Scientists believe that the Earth is approximately 4.55 billion years old. Humans have only existed for a tiny portion of that time. The species we belong to, Homo sapiens sapiens, is only about 40,000 years old. So in the scheme of things, we are a very new species. Humans are constantly evolving and changing in one way or another. We are still inventing, imagining, and creating. Society is becoming more advanced. Evolution is happening every day. So, what's next?